Your ex was crying yesterday because they are. Archangel Michael says, Beloved one, I must bring forth a revelation that will pierce the silence you have carried in your heart. Yesterday, while the sun sank and shadows stretched across the earth, your ex, the very person who once held your hand, spoke promises to your soul, and then walked away, was not strong, not proud, not cold as you may have imagined. No, yesterday they were crying. Their tears fell like rain against the hollow silence of their room, and those tears carried the weight of regret, the burden of loss, and the emptiness of choices they cannot undo. They were crying yesterday because the truth is crashing into them now, like a wave that cannot be stopped. They are beginning to realize what they threw away, what they dismissed, what they abandoned. They are finally awakening to the fact that no one, absolutely no one, has ever loved them with the purity, the loyalty, and the depth that you once gave. Their new world, their new distractions, their new faces, all of it is crumbling. The mask they wore to show everyone they were fine, it shattered yesterday, and what was left were raw sobs echoing in the night. Archangel Michael says, My child, I saw them clutch their chest, whispering into the emptiness, Why did I let it go? Why didn't I hold tighter? They are haunted by your laughter, your voice, the way your presence filled rooms with light. They tried to replace it. They tried to silence it. They tried to convince themselves they had moved on, but yesterday the truth came flooding in, the truth that their soul still aches for you. They were crying yesterday because they feel the weight of karma. Every action, every betrayal, every careless word, has circled back. They thought freedom meant happiness, but freedom without you has become a prison of loneliness. They cannot escape the memories, because memories of you are tattooed on their heart. Every corner they turn, every quiet moment, you are there. Even the silence whispers your name. And heaven tells me this, they are not only crying because they miss you, they are crying because they know they may never get another chance. Their pride kept them away, their choices built a wall, and yesterday that wall turned into a tomb around them. They realize that the world sees their smile, but heaven sees their brokenness. And the angels watched as they cried, shaking, wishing to undo time, begging for a moment with you. But hear me, beloved, this is not to weaken you. This is not to drag you backward. This message is not for you to pity them, but for you to understand how heaven has vindicated you. The same tears you once cried, the same nights you stayed awake with your heart aching, heaven has now reversed. The circle has turned. What you sowed in pain, you will now reap in joy. The very sorrow that once lived in your chest has been transferred to theirs. Archangel Michael says, they are crying because God has revealed to them that you were never ordinary. You were never just another person in their story. You were divine assignment, heaven's gift, the answered prayer they mishandled. And yesterday, as their tears hit the floor, the angels reminded them, you lost something heaven sent. They are crying because they see you rising. They see you shining. They sense that your destiny is no longer tied to their shadow. They feel you slipping beyond their reach, and it terrifies them. They wonder who now holds your heart, who now receives your smile, who now hears your laughter, and it breaks them apart. Beloved, you must know this. While they were crying yesterday, heaven was preparing your tomorrow. While they were grieving the loss of you, heaven was restoring your path. Their tears are not your chains, they are your confirmation. They prove what heaven has always whispered: you are chosen, you are rare, you are irreplaceable. So take this message not as an invitation to go back, but as evidence that God's justice is real. You are stepping into a season where those who wronged you will see your glow and weep for what they lost. And as they cried yesterday, heaven smiled upon you, because the days of your mourning are over, and the days of your rising are here. Archangel Michael says, "Walk boldly, beloved one, because the tears they cry now are seeds of your vindication. Do not look back. Do not reopen old doors. For God has written a new story for you, a chapter filled with joy, love, and blessings that cannot be taken." Their cries are the sound of the old chapter closing forever. Archangel Michael says, "Beloved one, let me take you deeper into the vision of what unfolded yesterday." Their tears were not small or casual. They were not the kind of tears someone sheds from a passing memory. No, these were heavy tears, the kind that come from the soul, the kind that make the heart ache and the breath short. Yesterday, your ex was consumed by the weight of the truth that has been chasing them silently for months, but finally caught them. They sat in their room, in silence that grew louder than any noise, and it hit them all at once: the sound of your absence. The bed felt colder, the air heavier, and the house emptier. The walls that once echoed with your laughter are now silent. They realized that no matter how many people surround them, no one fills the void you left. And yesterday, they could not run from it. Their tears were their confession. They were crying because they remembered the little things. The way you cared when they were sick, the way you believed in them when they doubted themselves, the way your prayers shielded them even when they didn't know. They are haunted by the thought, who is praying for me now? Who is standing in the gap for me now? Yesterday, the absence of your love was unbearable, and it broke them. Archangel Michael says, they are also crying because they know they hurt you. Their spirit is tormented by the memory of the words they spoke, the choices they made, the times they turned their back when all you did was love. They replay it in their mind like a song they cannot escape. They try to numb it, but yesterday heaven removed the mask, and their soul faced the truth. It was their pride, their fear, their mistakes that destroyed what could have been eternal. And let me tell you something powerful, beloved. When heaven allows your ex to cry for you, it is not to make you weak but to show you that your love was never in vain. You planted seeds of kindness, faithfulness, and purity, and those seeds remain inside them, whether they admit it or not. Yesterday, those seeds broke open. Yesterday, their tears watered the soil of what you gave them, and they realized they cannot escape the mark you left. They were crying because they feel the punishment of time. They realize too late that time will not roll backward. They cannot undo the days that passed, they cannot rewrite the decisions made, and it terrifies them. They see you moving forward, they sense the distance growing, and their tears are not just for what they lost, they are for what they can never get back. Archangel Michael says, "Beloved, do not mistake their tears as an invitation. Their tears are a warning to you, never settle for less than what God has planned. Their crying is proof that heaven always reveals truth. It is proof that when people mishandle what God sent, heaven will make them weep for it later. Yesterday was the day they faced their mirror, and in that mirror they saw regret staring back at them. And heaven says this, while they were weeping yesterday, angels were rejoicing over you. For you are entering into a season where God is sending someone who will never make you cry the way they did. Someone who will cover you with love, honor you with actions, and protect you with prayers. Their tears are the closing act of an old chapter, but your joy is the opening line of a new story. They were crying yesterday because they now understand the value of your soul. They see you as the treasure they buried and lost. They thought they could walk away and find better, but now they know, you were the blessing they overlooked. And beloved, know this, heaven will not allow them to take from you again. Their tears will remain their lesson, while your joy becomes your portion. So lift your head, chosen one. Do not look back with sorrow but look forward with strength. Because every tear they cried yesterday is proof of how far you've come. You are no longer bound to their choices, no longer tied to their pride. You are free, you are rising, and you are stepping into a divine season where the one God has prepared will see you, love you, and never let go. Archangel Michael says, "Let their tears be their burden, not yours. Let their cries be their judgment, not your chain. You are called to higher places, and heaven is with you." Beloved, while your ex was crying yesterday, heaven was writing the script of your destiny today. And it is far greater, far brighter, and far more beautiful than anything they could have ever given you. Archangel Michael says, "Beloved soul, I must reveal more to you, because what unfolded yesterday in the heart of your ex was not just a moment of weakness, it was the unraveling of pride, the breaking of illusions, and the shaking of their soul. Their crying was not random, it was destiny exposing the truth they had buried. Yesterday, they wept because they felt the weight of emptiness that no distraction could fill. The friends they thought would comfort them? Silent. The relationships they tried to chase after? Shallow. The things they tried to use to numb the ache? Useless. And in that silence, the memory of you returned like a storm. They heard your voice, they felt your kindness, and they realized, nothing compares. Their tears fell because they finally understood that what they lost was not just a person, but a once-in-a-lifetime soul. Archangel Michael says, yesterday they cried because guilt has caught up to them. They remember the nights you waited for their call, the times you forgave when you shouldn't have, the way you stood by them when no one else did. And now they are tormented by the fact that they did not treasure it. Heaven showed them a mirror of their actions, and in that mirror they saw the pain they caused you. It burned in their spirit, and it forced the tears out of them like fire melting ice. But here is the truth, beloved, their crying is not for your burden, it is for your freedom. Their tears yesterday were a sign that God has balanced the scales. The sorrow that once lived in your chest has been lifted and placed into theirs. Where you once cried alone, they now cry in their own loneliness. Where you once begged God for answers, they now whisper into the void with none. Their tears are the divine exchange, heaven's way of saying, justice has come. Yesterday, they wept because they saw you glowing from a distance. Even if they cannot see you directly, they can sense it in their spirit. They feel the energy shifting, they feel you rising into blessings they can no longer touch. They feel doors opening for you, and it terrifies them, because in their heart they know, they were supposed to walk with you through those doors, but they forfeited their place. That knowledge crushed them, and their tears became rivers. Archangel Michael says, they are also crying because they are afraid. Afraid that someone else will step into the place they abandoned. Afraid that another soul will hold the smile that once belonged to them. Afraid that your laughter will belong to another's presence. And heaven says, that fear is true. For God is preparing someone worthy of you, someone who will not throw you aside, someone who will not take you for granted, someone who will protect what your ex wasted. Their tears yesterday were the sound of their spirit realizing the replacement is coming. Beloved, do not see their crying as weakness, see it as prophecy fulfilled. The very pain you once thought would destroy you has become the pain that now destroys their pride. The very sorrow that made you question your worth has become the proof that you were priceless. Their tears are the testimony of your value. Archangel Michael says, do not go back. Do not allow pity to chain you. For their crying is not your responsibility. It is the harvest of their choices. Let them weep, for in their weeping heaven is proving that you were the blessing all along. Your path forward is filled with joy, abundance, and love that will never make you question yourself again. And beloved, understand this. They will cry again. Yesterday was not the last time. As you rise higher, as God blesses you greater, as your name is lifted, their tears will multiply. For heaven has decreed that all who mishandled you will watch as you shine, and their hearts will break again and again, knowing they cannot return to what they abandoned. But as they cry, you will laugh. As they mourn, you will dance. As they ache, you will rejoice. Their yesterday is sorrow, but your tomorrow is glory. Archangel Michael says, walk boldly, for heaven has shifted the story. Yesterday's tears were theirs, but today's joy belongs to you. Archangel Michael says, beloved one, let me open the vision even further, because yesterday's tears of your ex carry layers of meaning that heaven wants you to understand. Their crying was not a passing emotion, it was the shaking of their soul under the weight of realization. It was heaven's way of showing them that everything they tried to hide, suppress, or ignore has finally come crashing into the light. Yesterday, they cried because they finally admitted to themselves what they never told anyone else, that losing you was the greatest mistake of their life. They had convinced others that they were fine, that they had moved on, that life was better without you. But those were lies they told to cover the truth. Yesterday, the mask fell. Alone, behind closed doors, their soul couldn't keep pretending. Their heart broke under the reality that no matter how far they run, they cannot escape the love they lost. Archangel Michael says, their tears flowed because they saw how much you've grown since they left. In their spirit, they sense your strength now. They sense your healing. They feel that you no longer carry the same weakness, that you no longer need them, and that terrifies them. Because what once made them feel powerful, that you always forgave, that you always came back, has been stripped away. Yesterday, they realized they no longer have that power over you, and the truth of your independence made them weep. They cried yesterday because of regret that is eating them alive. Regret for every time they dismissed your words. Regret for every moment they ignored your love. Regret for choosing others over you. Regret for thinking they had endless time. Now, time has passed, and it cannot be rewound. They cannot go back to the beginning. And yesterday, that realization drowned them in sorrow. Archangel Michael says, beloved, they also cried because they feel haunted. Haunted by your memory. Haunted by the dreams they still have of you. Haunted by the thought that they could have been building a life with you right now, but instead, they are alone. They see couples walking together, they hear love songs playing, and every single one reminds them of you. They try to block it out, but heaven has decreed that your memory will never leave them. You are imprinted on their spirit, and yesterday the weight of that imprint broke them. But here is the divine truth, my child, their crying is not for you to return to them. Their crying is your confirmation. Heaven allowed you to know this because you once thought you weren't enough, you once thought you weren't lovable, you once thought they left because you lacked something. But now, heaven says, look, the very one who walked away is now broken, and you stand whole. Their crying proves your worth. Their tears prove your value. Yesterday, they cried because they sense what's coming for you. In their spirit, they feel that blessings are about to overflow in your life. They sense the new love heaven is preparing for you. They sense that doors are opening, opportunities are rising, and favor is falling on your name. They see you slipping away into a life greater than what they could ever have given, and it terrifies them. That terror turned into tears, because they know that once heaven's blessing finds you, they are permanently erased from your story. Archangel Michael says, "Do not be deceived by their sorrow." Tears do not always mean change. Their crying is not repentance, it is realization. Realization of what they lost, but not necessarily strength to become better. Do not mistake their tears for transformation. Heaven shows you their crying not so you will pity them, but so you will be reminded never to settle again. You were always the blessing. You were always the gift. Their tears are heaven's testimony of your value. Beloved, yesterday their soul shook, but today your soul rises. Yesterday their tears fell, but today your steps are lifted. Yesterday they mourned, but today you rejoice. This is the great exchange. Heaven has taken your past sorrow and placed it into their heart, while giving you joy unspeakable. Archangel Michael says, "Let their crying remain their burden." You, chosen one, must walk into the future God has prepared. For ahead of you lies a love that will never abandon you, a life that will never leave you questioning, and blessings that will silence every doubt you ever had. And hear this, yesterday was just the beginning. More tears will follow for them. Every time you rise, they will feel it. Every blessing you receive will echo in their heart. Every smile you give to another will wound their pride. Their tears are not finished, because heaven has decreed they will watch your glow from afar and realize what they lost again and again. But you, your tears are finished. Your nights of weeping are over. Your mornings of joy are here. Beloved, you are no longer the broken one. You are the chosen one. Their crying yesterday is proof of heaven's justice today. Archangel Michael says, "Beloved one, let me open the heavens wider and pour out the fullness of what yesterday truly meant, because their tears were not ordinary tears, they were prophetic tears." Yesterday, your ex broke under the weight of choices they once thought made them strong. They sat in silence, but their spirit trembled, and the angels heard the sound of their weeping echo into eternity. They cried because they finally faced the mirror of truth. For so long, they pushed away the reality of what they did. They pretended their life was better, they smiled in front of others, they laughed in public, but heaven always knew the truth. And yesterday, that truth pierced them like a sword. They realized the one who loved them most, the one who prayed for them, the one who stood beside them when no one else did, was gone. Their hearts shattered because heaven forced them to see what they lost. Archangel Michael says, "Beloved, their tears yesterday were not about loneliness alone, they were about regret. They regret the words they spoke that cut you. They regret the times they ignored your heart. They regret choosing others over you. They regret treating your love like it was replaceable. And yesterday, every regret gathered like waves and crashed down upon them until they could not hold it in any more. They were crying because they now know they cannot turn back time. They thought they had all the time in the world. They thought you would always be there. They thought you would never move on. But now they sense it, they feel you slipping away. They feel your spirit detaching, your energy rising, your destiny unfolding. And their soul knows what they cannot say, you are not theirs anymore. Archangel Michael says, "Beloved one, yesterday they also wept because they saw glimpses of your future. Heaven allowed them to feel the shift. They sense you are walking into something greater, someone greater, blessings greater than they could ever give. They fear another hand holding yours, another voice comforting you, another soul protecting what they destroyed. Their tears were not just for yesterday, they were for the tomorrow they know they cannot touch. And hear this, beloved, yesterday their tears were also their judgment. Every night you cried alone, heaven collected those tears. Every moment your heart ached, heaven remembered. And yesterday, the balance shifted. Heaven poured back into their life the same pain they gave you. Their tears were justice. Their tears were heaven's way of showing you that God never forgets His children. But I tell you this with urgency, do not mistake their crying for change. Their tears are the sound of realization, not transformation. They are not weeping because they are ready to become what you always needed, they are weeping because they know they lost the chance. Do not let pity bind you to what heaven has already released. Their crying is your confirmation, not your calling. Archangel Michael says, "Beloved, you once thought you were not enough. You once thought their leaving meant you were lacking. But yesterday heaven showed you the truth, it was never you, it was always them. Their tears prove that your love was rare, your spirit was powerful, your heart was pure. You were always the treasure." They are crying because they finally see what heaven always knew. They wept yesterday because they now understand the cost of their pride. Pride told them they could do better. Pride told them they didn't need you. Pride told them they would not miss you. But pride is a liar. Yesterday, pride collapsed, and in its place came sorrow. Their tears fell because pride has no power when the truth is revealed. And beloved, know this, they will cry again. Yesterday was not the end. Every time you rise, every time God lifts you, every time heaven opens a new door, their tears will return. They will see your joy and ache for what they threw away. They will watch your blessings unfold and wish they had stayed. They will hear of your laughter and feel pain in their chest. For heaven has decreed, your life will be their lesson. But for you, beloved child, yesterday was freedom. Yesterday their crying signaled the end of your mourning. Yesterday heaven announced that you no longer need to carry the weight of sorrow. Yesterday marked the day of exchange, their tears for your joy, their pain for your peace, their regret for your restoration. Archangel Michael says, lift your head. Do not look back. Do not let their tears chain you. For heaven is leading you to greater. A love that will honor you. A life that will fulfill you. Blessings that will overflow. Their crying is the evidence that you are stepping into destiny. Beloved one, their tears yesterday were not a signal for you to return, they were a sign for you to rise. Rise higher, for heaven is with you. Rise stronger, for your past no longer defines you. Rise boldly, for your future is radiant. And remember, beloved, as they wept, heaven smiled upon you.